Greetings, love magnets. Greetings, love warriors. Greetings, love icons. This is Pangia North Star coming to you from my highest timeline. I'm so excited to be with y'all tonight and to discuss a very, I'm going to say, popular topic. A popular topic. I hear people discuss this all the time, asking this question in various ways. But I've never quite heard anybody give this type of answer. So that's what made me do this video. And the question is, why are you attracting energy vampires? I want to get into this. I don't want to waste a bunch of time getting into this topic. But before I do get into the topic, I do want to share with you who I am and my intention for my channel, as well as the intention for the show, the discussion tonight. And please take time to send me greetings so I know who's in the room with me. Greetings, Shanae. So for those who don't know, quick introduction. I am a Reiki healer, a sound therapist. I love to teach about attracting love energy. And particularly, I like to teach about attracting love energy because love energy is the energy that we use for healing. Greetings, Zena Electra. Love energy is the energy that we use as energy healers. We use the power of love to draw out whatever the blockage is, to bring that out into the light. We are allowing ourselves to be vessels for source to get to you whatever it is that you need. Whatever type of healing it is that you are in need of, when you go and see an energy healer, that energy healer is simply allowing themselves to be used like a blank canvas or like an empty vessel for source energy to come through to you and just cover you in love. To just cover you in love, right? So in Reiki, we are taught that your thought process, or you may, your Reiki healer may even say aloud as they start the session, this I do out of love. So love is also the most powerful and the most abundant resource on the planet. So I love to teach about love because love is healing for all of us, whether it's self-love or whether it is, love for another person. Love is healing energy. So it's my intention for the channel to teach everyone how to attract love energy into their life for the purpose of healing, for abundance, for self-acceptance, forgiveness, prosperity, all of these things. So I truly believe that it is possible. We're all capable of healing ourselves through the power of love energy, and that we are capable of living a life of perfect joy and peace if we are willing to radically accept our personal power to heal ourselves, as well as prioritizing the discovery of our gifts, right? And using those two factors to our own highest good. Okay, so moving on, for our discussion tonight, we're talking about why are you attracting energy vampires? Okay, so as we get into this topic, let's do something. Let's start off with talking about, I want to make sure that I define really quickly for anybody who doesn't know or is not quite sure what I mean when I say attracting or when I say energy vampires. Okay, so when I say you're attracting something, I'm saying that I'm making reference to the universal law that says, everybody say hello to me. Everybody say hello to me. Let me know who's in the room. I'm seeing the numbers go up. I want to know who's in here with me. And I want y'all to participate in the conversation and ask questions tonight too. This is a really, really good one. And I know we've all dealt with this. Everybody in this chat has dealt with this before. But there's a universal law that says that we are always attracting matching frequencies We're always attracting matching frequencies, frequencies that match our own. Okay. So the people, the events, the things, the situations that we draw into our lives is based off of our own vibration, right? So, greetings, Dabney. Greetings, Unconventional Joe. Greetings, Mike. Glad to see you all here tonight as part of the conversation. Greetings, Sing. Hi. Thank you. Much love to you, Sing. So what are energy vampires, right? We talked about attraction, that we're always drawing energy vibrations that match our own vibration, right? Even when we see something that shows up that we don't recognize or we don't prefer, that's the reason it's so important that we have these conversations, because we need to understand, how in the world am I attracting things to me that's not what I desire, right? And that vibration, your vibrations that are attracting things to you, come from your emotions. Okay? They are emitted, your energy, your vibrations are emitted by your emotions. Okay? If someone asks what country I'm in, I am in the United States. Now, um, what are energy vampires? Energy vampires are people who are in your life simply to feed off of your energy. They're here to get whatever they can out of you. It could be that they want physical things from you, or it could just be that they want a charge. They want a boost from being around you. Okay. It can be a person that really just like, maybe they're down, but they know you always have a positive attitude, right? So they just want to be around your energy because they don't bring that own positivity for themselves. To a degree that can be okay, because we are here to help one another along our journey. But you don't want somebody that's just there to drain you and offers nothing in return, right? An energy vampire is easy. Well, I don't want to say, it's not always easy to spot, because sometimes they're disguising themselves as friends. A friend can be vampirical in nature as well. They can have some vampirical attributes, right? They may be a friend to you, but some things about them, and that may be surprising for some people to hear me say, because we like to make people all bad or all good. As humans, we tend to really, really struggle with duality, with natures that seem to be opposite, right? But somebody who really is a friend can also have a quality about them that makes them a little bit draining, right? And in that case, you have to set boundaries with that person, okay? But an energy vampire, one of the ways, it may or may not be easy to recognize them, but after you interact with the energy vampire, you feel down, you feel low, you don't feel as happy, as upbeat, as magnetizing. You don't feel as energetic, as positive or powerful as you did before interacting with that person. Okay, they kind of bring you down. That is the energy vampire. Okay, it can be people in your life that always need something from you, whether it's they need to borrow money or they always need some advice, always. And the relationship with them, it tends to be a one-way street. They always need something from you, but you cannot ask them for anything. Okay. You cannot ask them for anything, right? They're only in your life to take. Good evening, Jonathan. So, energy vampires. Why are we attracting energy vampires? If you are attracting energy vampires in your life, or you've ever experienced this, give me some hearts in the chat. Let me know if this sounds familiar. If you feel like you have ever attracted an energy vampire, if you have an energy vampire in your life right now, you're wondering, how did this happen? I'm so positive. I'm so upbeat. I'm so encouraging. I'm so this, I'm so that. How am I attracting energy vampires? If you've ever wondered that for yourself, go ahead and give me some hearts in the chat. Okay, so now you are number one. Number one, I'm gonna give you the number one answer. Okay, based on my observation. Okay, you may be an empath. Okay, The number one reason that you may be attracting energy vampires is if you are an empath who is not using their gifts for a purpose. Okay? If you are an undiagnosed empath or just an empath that's still finding their way and trying to figure out how to use your gifts, energy vampires will feed off of you. Okay? Really quickly, let me define what is an empath. An empath is someone who is has a very high capability of sensing other people's feelings. You can sense their feelings. You can feel their feelings. There are different types of empaths, but you may feel like if someone else comes around you and they're in pain, you may feel their pain in that same part of your body, or you may just somehow have a knowing about you that, oh man, this person is in pain. You may just know it, right? You may if you're a clairaudient empath, if you have a gift of clairaudience, then you may hear, just like it sounds like your own thoughts. Like you may hear that, oh, so and so is in pain, so and so is really sad today, and it just sounds like your own voice in your head. But you may hear something telling you that this person is sad, this person is down, this person is thinking about hurting themselves, this person is really worn out, this person is heartbroken or sick or whatever the case may be. But somehow there are many different types of empaths. I'm an empath myself. My gift works several different ways. Before I realized that I was an empath, before I became aware of it and knew how to control it and use it intentionally, it was a big thing. It was a lot to manage in my life. If there are any empaths in the chat, and I know there are here, that can remember what it was like before you knew how to control your gift or knew what your gift was, give me some hearts in the chat. And if there are people here that, you suspect that you may be an empath, but you're not really sure, keep listening. Okay. Also, I'll say this, just encouragement to people who are empaths. Some people think of being an empath as being like a weakened position. You feel like a victim because you feel like I'm always feeling other people's feelings and I don't like it. It can feel like a curse. So I encourage you to begin to use your gifts more intentionally, as well as begin to do meditations where you picture yourself in a bubble or in some type of protective structure and learn how to create that feeling for yourself at any time. Okay. The more often that you do that meditation, the more you'll be able to protect yourself at any time, just to put up an energetic protection, because you don't want to always be feeling other people's feelings. It can be miserable. It can be a miserable way to live, a miserable existence if you don't take charge of it. Okay. If you are an empath and you're not intentional about using your gifts, that means you've got what energy vampires are going to see as free energy. Okay, free energy. You got all this energy on your energy grid, on your power grid. We're just going to call it that is going unused. Okay, and energy vampires, it's almost like they can smell it. They can smell it, right? They can smell that you are able to sense that other people are in pain or in need of some type of help. And if you're a person that is able to sense that, you have that high sensitivity, because it feels unpleasant and uncomfortable for you, you probably have a high desire to help other people, even if it has nothing to do with you and it's of no benefit to you. Okay. That is another way that you can know if you are an empath, right? So people who are empathic and are not intentionally developing their gifts so that they can use them to help other people are often victims of energy vampires, because that energy vampire can sense that you have the ability to heal, to help people heal, right? And if you are an empath, you do have a gift of helping people heal. There's no other reason for you to have a gift as an empath. Did you know that? If you are an empath, there is no other reason for you to have that gift other than for you to help other people heal. So it's very important. The world needs for you to develop your gifts to help other people heal. Okay, it's not just for you to be nosy and to be aware. And again, if you have that gift and you're not using it, it can be a very miserable, very uncomfortable thing because you find yourself being highly sensitive to being around crowds, to being around groups. It could even be a small group of people, or just being around people at all can be painful for you if you're a highly sensitive empath. You may just think, oh, I'm just an introvert and I just don't like people. And it may not be the case at all. But energy vampires, they just want your energy to fuel their continued patterns of sickness. Okay? Energy vampires are not here for you to heal them. Okay? They're not using your energy for the purpose of healing themselves. Okay? So that is the thing about energy vampires. They're going to take your energy and they're going to drain your energy in whatever way you will give it to them. Whether it is always calling you and reporting what's going on with them, something's going wrong, getting you upset, getting you worked up. They'll have you giving them suggestion after suggestion on what they can do, and they have no intention of taking any of your suggestions. They're literally sucking your energy like a vampire. They are leeching off of you. Okay. If this sounds familiar to anybody, give me some hearts in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Everybody has that. It could be a friend or family member or whatever that always has a problem, but no matter what you suggest, they are never taking your suggestions. It's like they enjoy being miserable. Okay. And they like to get you all worked up about what they're going through. Right. So this is why they mostly call you when they are feeling low or if they are in need of something, because what they need is your energy to feed off of. Okay. They need you to give them a boost, to give them a charge. And just having that conversation with you is enough. Just making contact with you and getting your, whether it's your empathy, your sympathy, getting you to care, getting you to listen, getting you to talk to them, they are feeding off of you. Okay. So very commonly you hear the same question about why are you attracting energy vampires? You may see a lot of videos online about another way this is stated is why empaths attract narcissists. If you've ever heard that, this is the same concept. It's the same question. Okay. Energy vampires are often narcissistic people or people with narcissistic tendencies. They may not be a full narcissist, right? And that's like a hot word right now. Over the last few years, that's become a hot word. Everybody's a narcissist. Everybody's been called a narcissist. Okay. But even if a person is not a full narcissist, they may have narcissistic tendencies or vampirical tendencies. Okay. Tendencies of a person who will just drain your energy. Okay. So a solution for this is to start discovering your gifts and using them intentionally. Because if not, you're going to be misusing, misappropriating. You're going to be misusing that healing energy that is your energy. That's first of all is for you. That's first of all for you and your loved ones. Okay, for people who are really guided to your path and who want healing, who actually want to heal. But energy vampires will stay in your life and suck up all of your energy so that you don't have the energy to heal anybody, including yourself. Okay, so if you don't harness that energy and use your energy intentionally, vampires will. They'll be glad to. They're like, I'll take that energy. Thank you. Okay, so reason number two that you are attracting energy vampires is you do not have boundaries. You do not have proper boundaries in your life. You may not have any at all, or you may not have the right boundaries in the right places for the right people. We all need to be able to understand where certain people belong in our life. Just because you like a person does not mean they belong in every area of your life. Okay. How do you discover your gifts? We'll touch on that in just a second. Let me just finish this thought right here. So, understanding where people belong in your life is very, very important. Just because a person is cool with you, perfect example, just because somebody's cool with you at work, it doesn't mean you need to party with them outside of work. Okay. you may be in some other state of mind. You may be partying, and that person who you have professional relationship with may not need to see you as the party side of yourself, right? It may be totally non-beneficial. It may not be someone you can trust to see you in that vulnerable state, right? Or what if you get in the habit of going out and partying with this person, and then next thing you know, this person gets promoted, and now they're your supervisor, right? So now on Monday mornings, they're looking at you like, well, are you not performing on your job because you like to party the way you do? This is just an example, okay? Also, I had a talk with a friend of mine recently. A friend of mine is getting married, right? And this is a friend who's also a client, and she was a client first, then became a student, and somewhere along the way we became very friendly, okay? In my line of work, you get to know people very, very well. She's been in my life maybe 4 years now, okay? And at first, when she became both a client, somewhere between her becoming a client and a student, and she asked me to go out and party with her, and I said, no. I said, I really do. You're a dear person. You mean a lot to me, and I consider you, a friend, but we're not that, that's not the type of friends that we are. I am the type of friend that you can call me if you need something, if you need a listening ear, I'm here for you. But partying together is not what we do, right? And I'm glad that we didn't, because at that time, I think she was a client and just became a student. And then she became, she was a client on the hair side, because I also have a salon along with being an energy healer. But later, as I got more into my energy healing work, my energy healing business, she became a client on the energy side. And I'm glad I didn't go out and party with her, because it's like, okay, how can I guide you through this meditation, or send you Reiki or whatever, and you have this image of me in your mind as this party girl, So now we've done a lot of work with her, helping her to invite love into her life and to find true love. And now she's actually engaged and going to get married. So she was having a conversation with me about some other friends of hers that are single, and she was saying that when she was sharing some things that she and her fiance were kind of struggling with, the friends were like having this big negative reaction, like, oh no, girl, I wouldn't put up with that. I wouldn't deal with that if I was you, and I was advising her like, hey, I know that's your friend, those are your party friends, you've known them for a long time, but it may not be wise to now make them the friends that you vent to about your mate. If these people cannot cheer you on and support your marriage, your soon to be marriage, that's not the friend that you vent to about what's going on. You choose a friend that really wants to see you happy, and understands that marriage is a commitment, and that is going to be able to cheer you guys on and cheer for the both of you and have compassion for the both of you. That's the friend that you talk to about, you may vent to about what's happening in your relationship, right? Your spiritual friend, right? Not your party friends. So it's important to have boundaries in your life. You got to know the difference in the different types of friends that you have. Some of your friends are family. Some of your friends are associates, right? It's important to know the difference. Very important to know. So we have a question about how do you discover your gifts? And this question is coming from Dabney. So how you discover your gifts? The first thing I would say to do is to examine your natural capacity or natural personality. Do you naturally tend to be a very good judge of character? Okay. Do you naturally tend to just know things about people that the average person may not sniff out? Like, are you able to are you the type of person that's able to just like call it like it is? And you see through people's BS. Okay. That's just an example. What's your natural capacity as a person? Are you naturally a person like we're talking about earlier, just naturally an empath? Where you empaths have a tendency to see the good in people, okay? And the reason why is because an empath can feel that even when the person's acting ugly, they're acting, stink, just to put it mildly, they're really acting out of pain. A person may be doing something that's bad, that's terrible to someone else, that's causing someone else pain, but they're doing that because they are in pain, right? So empaths, a lot of times, are people who just naturally see the good in people. So in order to figure out what your gift is, examine your natural, just who you naturally are. Okay, it's nothing forced. Okay, if you are a person that's naturally drawn to taking care of somebody when they get sick, okay, you may be an undercover herbalist. You may be an undercover Reiki healer. If you naturally just tend to care for people when they become physically ill, your healing gifts may have to do with, helping people who are physically ill. Okay. So once you examine who you naturally are, your natural tendencies, then you want to look at that tendency and begin to develop it. You know, if it's that you like to say you naturally like to cook for people and you like to take care of people when they're sick, you may be the type of person that is in healing, like a culinary, that has a culinary healing gift. You may be a person that is meant to be here cooking healthy foods for people, teaching people how to enjoy healthy foods. Okay, that is a gift, right? But it's always going to be something that comes to you so naturally that you barely think about it. Okay, and a lot of things that we don't think about are gifts. For example, one of my very close friends, has a gift of asking the right questions. Okay. I love to talk to her about any situation because she is going to ask the right questions. And when I get done talking to her, if it's questions I hadn't already thought of myself, I now take those questions and go back and ask. And I kind of joke that she would be like a great interviewer, but she really, really would. She would be a great investigator, a great writer. Okay. It's always going to be something that you enjoy doing and that you do it naturally without thinking of it. Okay. Some people have a natural gift toward children. They love children and children love them, right? Something you just don't even think about. Take that and begin to develop that. Try using it in different situations. Research, learn how to do it even better than, take it beyond just your natural ability. Okay. So, and someone says, yes, it's also something you can lose time doing because you enjoy it so much. Absolutely. Absolutely. You find yourself kind of losing time and like you just feel like you're free floating. You feel like your most natural self when you're doing whatever that is. That is a gift. Okay. And many of us have several gifts, and we just don't even realize. Some of us have a gift of making people laugh. Okay. So, Dabney, do you have a gift of making people laugh? Does it just come natural to you? Does it feel really good when you do that? That's a gift. The world needs more laughter. Okay. All right. So, we talked about lacking boundaries. Okay. It's very, whenever we hear about boundaries, we think of saying the word no, right? Because saying the word no is one of the best ways to protect your energy as well as redirecting your energy towards something that is beneficial to you, to yourself, because our gifts, our energy is for us first. It's for our own healing first, right? I don't care if you're an empath, a healer, whatever your gifts are for you first. Don't ever forget that. Okay. You got to strengthen and protect yourself first before you can be any good to anybody else, right? So saying no is a great way to protect your own energy and redirect it towards yourself, or to redirect it towards someone else that you intend to help, right? But it's equally as important to know what things to say yes to. Some of us live in such a fearful state or an anxious state because we have been taken advantage of as empaths, right? As people who don't have, the best system of boundaries, or who have a deep need, a deep desire, and get satisfaction out of helping other people, right? Um, so some of us kind of live in this world where we say no to a lot of stuff. Like your first um, instinct when someone asks you to do something different or try something new, maybe to say no, when you actually need to say yes. Okay? So knowing what to say yes to is also a form of creating proper boundaries. Okay? So I want you guys to think of that. Sometimes good opportunities are coming your way, but because you don't want to venture outside of your comfort zone and try something new, you may be saying no when you need to say yes. Okay? So relax a little bit. Think more on making life beautiful. Think more on enjoying life, right? Getting the most out of life. Okay? Even if you believe in reincarnation, you here in this life right now. Enjoy this one. Enjoy this one as much as you possibly can. Okay? So saying yes to giving yourself a break sometime, allowing yourself to have fun, to really enjoying and living life, getting outside of your box is wonderful. Okay. It may also help you with discovering your gifts. Okay. Um, so saying yes to the right things is restorative and reaffirming your worthiness. Okay. Your worthiness of benefiting from the power of your own energy. Okay. It's very, very important. Saying yes to the right things can be restorative and is reaffirming of your worthiness to benefit from your own energy, right? Rather than giving away the benefit of your energy all the time, always serving other people. And some of us have been taught by social systems and even religious systems that we're always supposed to be service to other people. And that can be like a total beat down. You can beat yourself down with that, right? Okay, if anyone else has any more comments, questions, now's a great time to ask questions and comments before we start wrapping things up. Okay, but I'm gonna move to point number 3, and point number 3 may be a little bit rough. Okay, but reason number 3 that you may be attracting energy vampires is because you are low key vampirical yourself. Okay. Let's breathe that one out. Okay. That was a little rough. Okay, but it's true. And we are here to deliver the truth. It can be true. And I'm gonna give you an example from my own life. Okay. But the truth is that as long as you can keep a predator around, you get to be the prey. Right? As long as you can keep the bad actor, the bad guy in the room, then you get to be the good guy. Okay? So that is a low-key version of vampiring, energy vampiring. Okay? I had a friend one time that was dating someone and was like, kept on just going on and on and on. And this is my friend actually who taught me that I was an empath, who was like, hey, yo, you're an empath, right? It made me start to investigate and realize, oh, this is what's going on. This is why I feel like a sponge and I soak up people's emotions all the time. There was at a time where I did not know how to protect myself, and it was awful. But the same friend was dating someone and was like, man, this person is yada 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 yada. They need to wake up. They don't realize this. They don't realize that, and yada yada. And I was like, okay. But months and months went by, and it just kept on going on and on about this friend, and they're so lost, and they're so this and that. And it was a person that they were dating, and I was like, okay, I hear you, but I think it's time for you to ask yourself, why are you still dating this person? Are you enjoying shutting them down all the time, schooling them all the time, always being the one to have the answer, like basically sunning this person over and over again? Is there a part of you that's enjoying that? Is it time to move on? Because at this point, we're not discovering anything new about the scenario. They're not changing. You're not going to change what's really happening here, right? So that can be vampirical, but I'm going to give you another example from my own life where I was doing this in just a minute, okay? It's going to be story time. So the thing about this is it allows you to continue to be like the good guy or, slash the victim in a situation, right? That can be vampirical when you keep someone around that you've already discovered. You've already discovered. They're either that they're a vampire or they're just not for you or whatever, but you keep keeping them around, right? You may be using this this script or this narrative of helping or fixing them to avoid your own responsibility to fix yourself. Ooh, that hurt. Let's breathe through that one. Okay. You may be focusing your attention on helping and fixing this person in order to evade your responsibility to fix your own self. You're giving them your energy to avoid giving yourself your energy. Because without them in the picture, you're now just left with you, the man or woman in the mirror, right? So sometimes that is a reason that we are attracting energy vampires and then keeping them around, because it's something to hide behind. It's somebody to hide behind, okay? You're using them as a shield from the parts of your own reality that you're not happy with, right? And that you're afraid to confront, okay? Now, story time. Story from my own life. Story from my life. Ripped from the pages of my life, okay? So, I had a boyfriend. And this was years ago, but I had this boyfriend. It was like a really serious relationship. And I can remember time and time and time again telling this boyfriend, oh, I just feel like you're not living up to your potential. You're just not, you don't have no hustle about yourself. You don't have no motivation. You just this and that. Like, where's your ambition? I feel like you could be, doing more. Now, at this time, this was before I really began to take my spiritual gifts seriously. I knew that they were there, but I had not gone so far as to begin to develop them, to do research, to take classes, to get certifications, and begin to use my gifts to build a energy healing business. Okay, so but I was, doing a lot. I was going hard. I was hustling. I was grinding. I was really doing too much. Building my salon business. Okay. So I was working myself into an early grave at the time. And I kept saying that, to this person that I was dating, that, I just feel like you're not living up to your full potential. Like, you say you believe this, but then I see you do that. Like, what's really going on with you? And it was very, very easy for me to see that characteristic in him. However, now looking back on the situation, I can see that it was me. He was a mirror for me, right? I wasn't seeing him as a mirror at the time, but because we are always attracting matching frequencies, right? And I just was not aware at that time. I was just not awake to that fact at the time. But his not living up to your potential frequency was just a match to my own energy of not living up to my full potential. And anybody looking at me from the outside would have said, oh, no, she's pursuing her purpose. She's pursuing her passion. Look how, hard she's working to build, that salon. She's working day and night. Well, yeah, but that's a gift. That's a gift. It's not the gift. And it's so funny because I would always say back then, hair is just the way I get to love people. My real gift is to love people. Now, that much I would say, and that much I did understand. My real gift is to love people, and hair is just the way I get to do that. I always used to say that, but I wasn't going further with it. I wasn't diving into my gift, but I now understand to be my mission and my purpose, which is teaching people the power of love energy to heal themselves, right? And to attract forgiveness, self-acceptance, abundance, healing, love into their lives, right? I was not doing that. I wasn't pursuing that, right? I was pursuing something else, and it was a great distraction from this, right? And there's nothing wrong, with pursuing a passion, but we have passions and we have ultimate things that are our ultimate purpose, that are our mission, right? Our reason for coming here, and I've done some great hair. I've been in that industry for over 20 years. Love it. I've met wonderful people, and it is one of the ways that I get to love people. But is styling hair my ultimate purpose in life? No, it is not. My ultimate purpose is what I do here with teaching about love energy and utilizing love energy to help people find healing. Okay, so that's my story about it. But as long as I kept that person in my life who was, when I say draining me, but I kept them around for years, aware that they were draining me, but not aware that they were actually presenting a mirror, that the universe was using them to present a mirror to me, a mirror of myself as someone who can do more or has, a purpose, a potential that's not, being lived up to. Okay. So if you want to know more about that and how that works, I have another video on my channel called 4 Ways to Attract Love Energy, and I go deeper into that story on that video. It was 4 ways to attract love energy. Okay. So if this sounds familiar to you, if this is hitting for you, if this is resonating for you, give me some hearts in the chat. Give me some thumbs up in the chat. Let me know that this is making sense to you. Now is also time for questions. If you have questions, as we keep going, I am going to give some final points and then begin to wrap it up. So if you have a question, now's the time to ask the questions, to get your questions answered. Thank you so much for the support in the chat. Love you so much. Awesome. Okay, so now I gave you my example from my own life. Let's talk about corresponding chakras. Y'all see me looking over here. I'm looking at my notes. I do make notes ahead of time so I can present this information in an organized manner. I respect my audience enough to do that. Corresponding chakra blockages. The first thing that comes to my mind, because we were talking about gifts, discovering your gifts, properly using, the energy of your gifts, right? Proper utilization. 2 things come to mind. Number one thing that comes to mind is the third eye chakra, right? Your third eye is about your gifts. It's about your intuition and about your spiritual gifts, okay? Your intuition leads you to your spiritual gifts, and your intuition operates through your spiritual gifts. Okay. For example, the person who, I'm using an example earlier of someone who's able to make people laugh, and that's a gift, right? You gotta know what a particular person is going to find funny, right? You kind of feel them out, right? And sometimes, you know, one thing you can something you can joke with one person about may not be the thing you can joke with another person about, or you may be able to joke about that person, a particular topic with a person, but is it too soon? As we say, you tell a joke about something that it's kind of cringe. It's like, oh, is that too soon? Was that too soon? You got to kind of feel it out, or when you can joke about something, what you can joke about, what this person will find funny versus what they may be offended by, right? The same joke I can tell one friend may not be the same joke that I can tell somebody else. I love to make people laugh. All my friends know I'm a cut up. If you know people who know me personally, or just have the opportunity to work with me, often, over a long period of time. No, I'm a cut up, and I love to tell jokes, but you can't tell the same jokes to everybody. It doesn't work, right? Everybody may not be ready, right? So that is actually intuitive. Successful comedians are very intuitive. What if you were a comedian and you have a comedy routine prepared, but when you get to this particular audience, you know, you better be able to recognize whether or not that particular audience is going to find your jokes funny. you know what if you have jokes that are just like culturally relevant, but you walk into this room that is a room full of people that are not they're of a different culture than you. They're not going to get the jokes, right? So you got to know how to switch it up, and you got to be able to sense, feel them out and know when they're feeling you and when they're not feeling you. you know that's the same for a lot of different types of gifts. So third eye is about intuition, and so is your sacral. The sacral also is very much tied into your intuition. Um, Another one that comes to mind with this particular subject of attracting energy vampires is definitely the solar plexus chakra. You may have an overactive solar plexus chakra if you are giving all your energy to energy vampires. If you have a habit of overdoing, an addiction to overdoing, your solar plexus, so your solar plexus is your personal energy grid. It's your personal energy grid, okay? Your personal, the center of your personal power, okay? So your ability to, or that motivation, I'll say, to actually say no, your motivation for saying no, your reward center, one of your pleasure centers, your center of identity, self-individuation is there with your solar plexus. Okay. So a person who is forceful about, energy vampiring, who is draining your energy from you, they are attacking your sense of self and draining your sense of self. A lot of these people do not have a sense of self at all. So the things about you that make you uniquely you, that can be a great source of jealousy and envy for them, and that is actually what they're feeding off of, is the uniqueness of you, your gifts, your sense of being an individual. It's called individuation, right? So they may not be able to sense themselves as an individual or feel powerful as an individual. So they're draining you. They're tapping into your power grid for that. Okay. Also, there's a certain type of intuition that's there as well. I'm going to say that in your solar plexus. It's interesting. how your intuition can live in different parts of your body. But that gut feeling, when they say, "Oh, I have a gut feeling," or "I felt that in my gut," that is also referring to solar plexus energy. Okay, there's some things and it kind of comes as a heady kind of feeling, like I just know this. It may be third eye, where there's a gut feeling that may be solar plexus, because a lot of times it depends on the scenario that we're talking about, right? That you may sense danger. I'm sensing that from my solar plexus, right? Sometimes you may intuitively feel that you know someone, okay, or have especially if it's a connection. I'm using this example, connection to your ancestors. You may feel a deep connection with someone that died when you were a baby. That's an ancestral connection. That's a type of intuition that is associated with your sacral. Okay, so different types of intuition can live in different energy centers of the body. Getting back to, I'm trying to think, is there another one that's just like really obvious that I'm missing here? You may also be suffering from a throat chakra blockage. Okay. Look, it just popped up. Somebody just said it on the on the we're thinking alike. Yes, yes. So I'll share this comment. Okay. Someone says there are, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. It looks like Starjan. There are instances too from your throat chakra in terms of your ability to hear and communicate with them 100%. Okay. What I was about to share about throat chakra was speaking up. Speaking up. Oh, hey, Nikki. So we have an expert in the building, another expert. Nikki's a very good person to learn this type of information from as well. She is an example of an empath that has developed her talents, her gifts into a skill. Very important. Develop your gifts into a skill. Okay. That's what you're here for. But your ability to speak is very important, and I'll come back to Nikki's point of view on this as well. But you may be feeling, oh, this person is just so draining. Oh my God. But when it comes to voicing that and actually asserting that boundary that you feel you need to create, you're not able to express that, right? Speaking up is one of the types of expression that comes from the throat chakra. Okay. Now, Nikki mentioned your ability to hear and communicate with them. Okay. Many people do not know, without studying, it's not readily available information, that your hearing, okay, is also associated with the throat chakra. Okay. It's not just expressing yourself, but being receptive to other people's communications. Okay. That's very, very important. If you think about it, it makes sense, because even physically, your ears, your nose, and your throat are all connected. They work as a unit. That's why you go to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, right? Those pathways of the breath, the spirit, right? It's all interconnected. Okay. So being able to hear, we were talking earlier about how energy vampires, they really have no intention of using your energy that you're pouring into them by listening to them, giving them advice or whatever, getting upset with them, you're empathizing with them, you're feeling all the feelings. They have no intention of using that for healing. Not at all. And many times they are telling you this, but you can't hear it. You cannot hear it, right? You cannot hear what they're saying, that they fully intend to keep doing the same thing over and over again. They intend to keep running in these same circles. And they're not nearly as upset about it as you are. And it's their life that it's their life that's being affected. But you are so much more worked up about it than they are. You are doing all the emoting for them. But you can't hear that. You're not able to hear that they're low key enjoying it, right? They're gleaning some enjoyment out of the drama and the chaos in their lives. So therefore, they will not be changing this behavior at all. Okay? So that is that on the throat chakra. If anyone has any more comments or questions, now is the time. Right now, before we wrap it up. I wasn't planning on staying on the full hour tonight, y'all. But thank you so much for the participation and for the love in the chat. As long as y'all like to keep the conversation going, I do like to do that for up to an hour. But so this is basically it, you guys. Just to wrap up and review. Reason number one, you may be attracting energy vampires is because you are an empath who is not using their gifts intentionally. So you are therefore misappropriating those gifts, and you need to redistribute those gifts, redistribute that energy instead of allowing energy vampires to be in your life and suck it out of you, right? Number two may be that you lack boundaries in your life. So, and your boundaries are not only going to have to do with saying no, but also saying yes to the right things, those things that are energizing for you, right? You may be saying yes to the things that are draining when you need to practice saying yes to things that are restorative, right? Reason number three was it's a little tender. It's a little sensitive. It's a little bit sensitive, but you may be low-key vampirical yourself. You may be feeding off of this person feeding off of you. You may be feeding off of having their bad guy energy in the room because that makes you feel elevated to the position of good guy. Okay? So just think about it. You don't have to answer. You don't have to tell me if that's what you're doing. But ask yourself, is that what's happening here? It really could be. Okay. So I'm going to get out of here, y'all. I really appreciate the time that you spend with me every week. I really enjoy the time that you spend with me every week. Okay? And I love sharing with you guys. Go ahead and like the video, share this video if you know someone that is a victim, right, of an energy vampire right now. Or if you just want to save it, download it to listen to yourself later again and think on it. Okay. Go ahead and subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you guys again next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Central. Also, I have my class, Master Your Magnetism, is going up on Eventbrite within the next week. When I have that active link, I will come back and hopefully I'll be able to add it in the comments here so that you guys can register for the class, Master Your Magnetism. It is an amazing class. And we're going deeper with this idea that we are always attracting matching frequencies. We're going to talk about exactly how that works, and we're going to give some real life examples and help you to disrupt some negative patterns in your life, whether it's negative patterns of thoughts, speech, or actions that are drawing things to you, drawing people, events, things, and situations that you do not desire or that seem totally unfamiliar to you. We're going to look into how is that happening? What can you do to interrupt that pattern? Okay. We're also going to be doing some mini readings during the class. It's a 3-hour online class. We'll be doing some mini readings for people who decide to come on camera and volunteer to ask a question on camera. I'll be filling into their energy and giving them a little energy reading and give them some clues as to exactly what's really happening with them. We're also going to be doing a guided visualization toward the end of the class. For the entire group, there'll be a guided visualization to help you to raise your vibration to the frequency of love, right? Which is again for the purposes of healing and for abundance. Um, so I'm super looking forward to the class. It's going to be, there's one on September 28th and also another one on October 13th. Okay, so one's a Saturday, one's a Sunday, whichever day works for you. So again, the registration for Master Your Magnetism will be on Eventbrite. So thank you guys for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Have a good night, everybody. I love you all. Mwah.